Hey everyone, I am Morgan and I am the owner of Night Sky Real Estate. And in this video, we're going to go over the pre-approval process. So one of the first things that you have to do when you're ready to purchase a home is you must have a pre-approval. That is where everything starts. In order to get the pre-approval, I can give you a list of lenders that I use. And some of the things that we're going to look at is a brick and mortar lender versus a broker. And here is some of the differences. If you've ever bought insurance before, you've probably heard of an insurance broker versus like some of your big name companies that you may see on TV that have little reptiles as their little mascot. That would be like your brick and mortar. So when you go and you get a quote, you're getting a quote from your little reptile friend only. Whereas if you use an insurance broker, they actually can shop around to all of the things, all of the insurance companies, no matter what their little mascot may be. And then they can come back to you and be like, hey, instead of you calling all of these different people, I've done that for you and I have found your lowest insurance rate. A mortgage broker is basically the exact same thing. And what they're going to do is they are going to shop around and look and try and find you the best rate and make sure you can get approved and find the best odds for you. The ones that I work with are absolutely fantastic. They work with VA loans, they work with FHA loans, first time homeowners. Um, we can do like HELOCs, all of the loans, he can try and work with and find what's going to work best for you. Um, like again, I have several that I work with and we can find someone that works well for you. And also the difference between your brick and mortars is they work Monday through Friday, usually from 8 to 5. They may be there after hours, but that's their main hours, especially in a bank situation. A bank's got business hours. Their employees are also paid hourly. So they are getting paid regardless of what happens to you, to your loan, to our closing time, and to all that. Whereas a mortgage broker does not get paid unless your loan closes. So we have to make it to the closing table. What this is going to do is make it really hard or make the lender work very hard to make sure that your loan is approved, your loan goes through, and we're at that closing table. So that way they have earned their money, they can get their money. That is one of the things that we really have to take into consideration, and not just as, what's best for you. The sellers are going to be looking at what lenders that you are using as well. And their agents, might have had bad experiences with different lenders and might warn them like, hey, this loan may not close. I know there's some very notorious brick and mortar establishments that they are literally known for the loans not closing or closing getting extended over and over and over and over. And what we want to do is avoid that from the beginning. When we send over your offer, we want it to be a very strong offer from the start. We want to be able to tell them, hey, here's our lender's phone number. You can call them and verify the loan yourself and know that we are in a good spot. This is a great offer with a very great opportunity or good opportunity to close. We're good at closing on schedule. Um, you know, they can, tell them, we've closed multiple of these early. So those are the things that we're going to look at when we're trying to get you a pre-approval. Obviously, shopping around, I don't want to force you into using anyone that you don't want to use, but I use lenders multiple times a month. And again, I try to work with people who not only are great at their job, but also follow the same morals that I do, which is everyone deserves to be treated incredibly well. And that is one of the things that I have found in the lenders that I work with. So that is a little bit about the pre-approval process. So what I'm gonna do is I will send you the link to the lender with the application and you fill that out. Make sure you fill it fully out because they can see if you just put your first two initials of your name. Like once you open it up, like they can see the whole application process. Make sure you're filling it out fully. If they are asking you for any information during this process, make sure that you are working with your lender. I can only protect earnest money as long as you are complying to the lender. Part of what we have agreed upon in our buyer brokerage agreement is that you will provide all paperwork in a timely manner. So if the lender needs paperwork from you, you need to work and try and get it to them as fast as possible. Lenders are great about working with you on how to get them the information. We just try to really make this process as easy and smooth as possible. And because you're not going to understand a lot of it because you don't do this every single day like we do. It can be very overwhelming and very stressful and seem like it's just really, really difficult. And I don't want you to feel like that, but you're going to during the process. Unfortunately, it's kind of just part of how we swim on. So these videos are to help make you understand like a little bit of what's coming so you can understand what to look for, what to expect. The lender and I do communicate regularly, and with that, I can't know any of your personal information, but if you're not getting paperwork to them timely, they will reach out to me and be like, hey, we really need this or we may not close. Or I've got to pull some strings, or I need to do this, or we may have to switch loans. When you get your pre-approval, it takes like 24, 48 hours, maybe, as long as you fill out the application, we can figure it out. And the lender will actually email a copy to you and a copy to me of the pre-approval. One of the things that we do like to do is we want the pre-approval to be on the higher end. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what you were shopping for. That is what you were approved for. The reason that we need this is because if you're like, okay, I'm buying a $400,000 house and we find a $405,000 house that is your dream house. It is perfect. It is everything that you've wanted. You know that you can afford this house. We want to jump on it. We don't want to be able to have to go get another pre-approval. The other thing is, if your pre-approval says $400,000, but you know, and I know that your budget is $350, when we send in the pre-approval to the sellers and we're like, hey, here's our pre-approval for $400,000, your house is listed for $350, here's what we're offering is $340, however it works out. Their agent's gonna look and be like, hey, they've got an extra $50,000 that they are pre-approved for. So obviously they have their finances in check, like they are good to go. So this seems like it's going to be a pretty okay offer because they're not maxing out their budget by any means. They're shopping well under their budget. And that's kind of the things that we are looking at in the long run. These are the bigger picture things that I have going on in the background when I'm building your offer, is to have these small little things that we can put together to make your offer look and appear as good as possible on your home. So these are a few of the things that I do. You should be getting a few links from me or however many for lenders. So if you will just fill out the pre-approvals, I look forward to seeing you at the closing table.